nightmare of waking up next Saturday morning after polling day and finding out that PAP has again won all of the seats.
Oh!
Then think of all the problems that you face. The overcrowding, the stress, the low wages, the unfair competition for jobs, the underemployment, the high cost of living, your medical bills, unaffordable HDB prices, your future without adequate retirement income. And then think that you have no one to speak up for you on these issues, that you don't have a voice in Parliament. It's a bit like driving a car without a steering wheel, isn't it? But it doesn't have to be that way. You can have a say in shaping our future. You can have a say in our policies that will affect your future, your children's future. But you can only do this if you vote for the SDP. It is an unthinkable scenario, but not an impossible one. And the only way to prevent such a nightmare, my friends, is to make sure that you vote for the SDP and tell all your neighbors to do the same. Now I want you to picture this, the reverse. Think about the next parliament with 11 competent, constructive, committed SDP MPs. Now think about the issues we will raise. Think about how when the government says, let's raise the GST, or let's delay the CPF withdrawal age again, or let's raise the minister's pay. Then think about how the SDP will be there to speak up for you. Now, as sure as the sun will rise tomorrow, the PAP will say that our ideas are dangerous and reckless, and it will ruin the country and bankrupt the nation. Dr. Vivian Balakrishnan has already started the ball rolling. And two, if they cannot convince you, they will say that Chee Soon Juan is a liar. Chee Soon Juan is untrustworthy. Chee Soon Juan is a gangster. I don't know what this has anything to do with the debate. But every time when they cannot answer our questions or debate with us in a logical manner, they will throw out their standard line. Chee Soon Juan is a liar, a gangster, a psychopath. Already, Sim An and Lawrence Wong are starting these personal attacks and bringing up issues about Mr. Cham Si Tong, about the healthcare subsidies hearing, issues that happened, and I'm not exaggerating, that took place in the last century. Their idea is to attack me and to see if I respond and whether I defend myself. If I do, they will attack even more. And by the time we're done with the 9 days of campaign, the whole elections would be over. And they would have achieved their objective, which is to prevent me and my colleagues from talking about the real issues. More importantly, to distract you, the voters, from the real problems that you face. My friends, you tell me, is this a trap? Yes. But I find it so sad. Our younger generation of ministers are also showing that they're willing to engage in this kind of gutter politics, to win at all costs. I want to tell them that they're still young. They have a whole career ahead of them. I want to tell Mr. Lawrence Wong and Ms. Sim An that it's not worth it. For what profit a man to gain the whole world and yet lose his soul? I want to stick to the issues. I understand your worries. I know your hardship. I see your pain. I know because I've listened to you. I know because I've spoken with you. I know because I live among you. I know what it feels like to keep counting your dollars and trying to cut down on expenses when you need to see a doctor or buy that extra packet of milk, or choose a better quality cooking oil. You are always checking your purse to see if you can afford it. I understand. Sometimes I go to Giant to buy groceries, and once in a while I want to buy some ice cream for my children. So I go to the freezer and I take a look at the prices, and immediately I discount Ben & Jerry's, Haagen-Dazs. I look at Wall's ice cream and I think of getting a tub. And my wife comes along and says, maybe it's better if we get it if it's on sale. I know. I know what it is like to count your every dollar. At times like these, the worst thing to happen are people who are out of touch with reality and make policies that affect you and how you live. If they don't understand the difficulties that you face, then how can they help you? Mr. Chan Chun Sing, DPM Tharman, said that Singaporeans earning 1,000 can not only survive, but buy an HDB flat as well. Mr. Tan Chuan Jin thinks that some of our elderly people collecting cardboard do it because they want to exercise. PAPMP, Dr. Lily Neo, pointed out that meals at hawker centers were too expensive for the poor. Dr. Vivian Balakrishnan haughtily replied, how much do you want? Do you want 3 meals at a hawker center, food court, or restaurant? This is a party that has so many millionaire ministers that they don't know what it is like to be poor. They are completely out of touch with the real Singapore. Folks, there is nothing more dangerous than a government that is out of touch with reality. We understand. We care. We know that you want a compassionate government. You want someone who thinks about you when policies are made. You want somebody who cares about your difficulties. My friends, I care. Professor Paul Tambaya cares. John Tan cares. Chong Wai Fong cares. The SDP cares. That's why we are here. That's why we're doing this. And that's why 25 years ago, I joined the SDP. I could have continued to be a professor, earning by now $20,000, maybe even more, with all my consulting fees. My wife May, she also holds a PhD, and would also be working. Together, you could have led a more than comfortable life. But I don't care. I don't care about the zeros at the end of my paycheck. No, I take that back. To be honest, to be very honest, I do care. But not enough to keep silent when I see that old lady who is bent at the waist collecting cardboard just to make her pay for her meals, while that permanent secretary flies his family all the way to Paris and pays $50,000 just for cooking classes. When every time my children stand up in school and say, to build a democratic society based on justice and equality, I am part of that system that lies to them. These are the things that I care about. And these are the matters that I want to take with me to Parliament, to speak up, and to change things for the better. For you, for all of us. I want a system that works just not for the rich, but for everyone in this country. I want a people healthy and happy, not an island overcrowded and stressful. I want affordable housing. where flats don't cost us a lifetime to pay off. I want our retirees to live secure and dignified lives with all our CPF savings. I want a universal healthcare system where everyone gets quality medical attention regardless of their financial status. I want political leaders to serve the people, not just themselves. Will you, my friends, will you go out and tell everyone in the constituencies what you've heard here tonight? Yes. Tell them that you have heard this vision of a prosperous and productive Singapore, a Singapore that cares for our weak and our old, a Singapore that is open and democratic. Tell them that the SDP is more than just a party. It is an idea, a way of life, a vision that will transform Singapore for the better. Tell them that you have heard of this party that wants to serve you, not lord over you. It's a party that truly cares. Tell them, my friends, tell them that there is an alternative. Tell them about the SDP. If this is the kind of voice you want in Parliament, a competent, constructive, and compassionate voice. If this is what you believe in for our future, our families, and our nation, then tell them that they must vote for the SDP. You must vote for the SDP. I have never lost faith in Singaporeans. And even in the bleakest of moments, I've always believed that we would triumph, that democracy would eventually come, and that justice would ultimately prevail. How am I so confident? Because the human spirit can only be suppressed, never crushed. Thank you, and good night.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. At this point in time, I would like to appeal to all of you, for those of you who have extra time, do volunteer with us. Do sign up as a volunteer on our booth, on our red booths, on your right. And we also like to appeal for donations and some support from all of you.
各位来宾，我们再次呼吁您们多多捐款。竞选活动需要很庞大的资金和人员。我们民主党的竞选5个区，单一个区就有好几个投票站，一个站又需要好多个工作人员轮流值班。我们需要您的时间和劳力，这可以算是4、5年一次的国民福利吧。请你们到我们的销售亭。
Ladies and gentlemen, please stay where you are. We have one more speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, we have one more speaker. Before we wrap up tonight, you stay where you are.
请你们到我们的销售亭报名，成为我们投票代理和点票代理。谢谢。
Alright, our next speaker is Mr. Juan. Juan is the Vice Chairman of the Singapore Democratic Party, a social psychologist and lecturer, currently teaching psychology and statistics for Murdoch University at campus Singapore.
最后一位演讲者是陈良玉先生，他现年54岁，已婚，是一名大学讲师，也是新加坡民主党的副主席。他曾在上届大选代表民主党出征38望集选区。陈良玉在过去4年里和其他党员走访38望选区，帮助低收入家庭解决问题，并向他们介绍民主党所提出的政策。在空暇时，良玉喜欢烹饪和跟家人一起玩棋牌游戏。